champagne. We dey pop champagne. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Something. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Something. Say if you carry and you know.
Frank Abbott says, the beginning of knowledge is the discovery of something we do not know. Welcome to this week's edition of MERRYLANE on NCA Lagos Channel 10. My name is Adejumoke Allen Ikumawe. How was your week? Hope you enjoyed your week. Like we all know, that weekend starts from Friday. So sit back, relax as we start tonight's program. Coming up on tonight's programs, we have a lot of programs aligned for you. First highlights on the show tonight is a book launch at the University of Lagos, a book titled 50 Years of Chemical Engineering Education in Nigeria. Enjoy the highlights. I will be right back.
Watching MERRYLANE.
Notable personalities in the chemical engineering department and other industries on Thursday, 27 February 2025, gathered at Tayo Aderiokun Lecture Theatre, Unilag, for the launch of a landmark book titled 50 Years of Chemical Engineering Education in Nigeria, 1969 to 2019. The book is authored by Emeritus Professor Sikiru Adebayo Sani from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, the first professor of chemical engineering in Nigeria, and Emeritus Prof. Alfred Susu of Chemical Engineering University of Lagos. According to both authors, the book is a result of years of research targeted at everyone, most especially chemical engineers.
This book is Alfred's efforts. Yes. Well, yes. But there no effort, nothing is useless. But he kept on. I'm so happy. So when we now, you won't believe that I saw a copy of him who has been the picture and everything. But the only copy like this today. Yes, today. I went to his office. Mr. Bernard took me to Alfred's office. I saw the books there. Let me have a copy. But I've seen things like that, look at it, send it back. But to hold a copy was only today. Yes. So you see that Alfred is a very loyal friend. And good loyal friend. So the Psalm 1, I could write it. By the grace of God, we will write it. It will be tough, but we will write it. Yes. Yes. That night is not this small place. Not just any simple person go there, but it's very tough. And we survive, even though we are young then, yes, of course. But we still have that in us. We will write it by the grace of God. So maybe we are still going to call you, and go to lunch, and we'll do it.
I want to tell you a story. The story is about a book. How myself and Professor Sonny got together and wrote this book. First of all, I'm a Tamil person. Mrs. Babalola then, Dr. Babalola then, Professor Babalola now. In 2021, in the first quarter of 2021, I can't remember the month, she called me and said, Prof, why don't we do a book on advanced power? And I said, okay. table of contents. Of course, I've written 2 books on undergraduate thermodynamics in 1996 and 1997, published by the England Press. And I've taught undergraduate and graduate thermo all my years at the University of Lagos. So I said, we can do something. So she sent me the table of contents. And then I thought maybe we should ask for collaboration with some other people. We then said, okay, let's do a book on chemical engineering education in Nigeria. But let's also add in some complementary ideas, like industry, like the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers, who train and nurture our graduates.
The reviewer, Engineer Ayoade Kuye, speaking at the event, stated that the book is divided into 4 sections. He recommended the book to all chemical engineers and everyone in search of knowledge, saying it would inspire them.
The book includes contributions from 60 authors and is divided into 4 sections. An introduction, which is just 1 chapter. The educational section, which comprises 21 chapters. The professional section, which comprises of 1 chapter. And industrial, which comprises 4 chapters. Chapters 2 to 21 focus on education and are arranged according to the order in which the departments were established. Chapter 2 addresses the future of chemical education in Nigeria, while Chapter 23 details the history, structure, activities, and services of the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers. The final 4 chapters, that is chapters 24 to 27, discuss the significant chemical engineering industries in the country during the relevant period, covering the Nigerian upstream oil and gas industry, the Nigerian petroleum gas downstream sector, chemical and allied industry, as well as the food and beverage industries. Going through the book, the objectives, as clearly stated in Chapter 1, have been fully met. The various chemical engineering departments in Nigeria have made significant progress. Additionally, it can also be inferred that the inception of chemical engineering in Nigeria coincided with the oil boom era of the 70s. In conclusion, sirs, I highly recommend this book to all chemical engineers and those outside the field. It is a valuable resource for understanding the trajectory of chemical engineering education in Nigerian tertiary institutions. More importantly, it stimulates the study and practice of this unique engineering discipline. Whether you are a student, a professional, or an academic, this book will inspire and engage you in the world of chemical engineering.
The chief launcher, Engineer Femi Bajomo, an oil and gas expert who has over 30 years' experience in oil and gas operations, business development, portfolio management, contract negotiation, and asset management, unveiled the book.
It's a very interesting book. It has something in it for every chemical engineer, and particularly those that studied in Nigeria. The first thing I would imagine is that any chemical engineer that takes the book and you studied in Nigeria, you just flip through to your own departments and try to see what they've written there. So some will be disappointed from what they'll see from their own universities, but then I think I must give University of Lagos the first prize, for all the things that they've put in their own section. This is going to be the first edition, and I hope all the other departments will learn and put some additional information in the second edition of the book. And I say this with a lot of authority, because in Ife then, to get into the preliminary section of chemical engineering, you have to have scored at least 95% in the prelim exams. And then what will happen is that chemical engineering will choose the best students first, and all the other departments will be scrambling for the rest. So my idea is that every chemical engineer should give back to his own department, and I would like to see a lot of endowment funds launched for each department of chemical engineering in Nigeria. The universities that contributed to 20 of them, I'll buy 5 books each for those universities. And the remaining 22 that didn't contribute, I'll buy 2 books each for them. In all, I'm sort of putting a budget of 5 million naira to cover this, and any other extra that comes from that, I'm sure will be put into good use.
As the event drew to a close, attendees lauded the authors of the book for their insightful work. Some of them also launched the book with different sums of money.
So I want to thank everybody here on behalf of the writers, the publishers, but primarily the authors.
A special thank you, sir, to our chief launcher, Engineer Femi Bajomo, and our co-launchers for your generosity and commitment to advancing engineering education in Nigeria.
Storytelling about your strengths, your weaknesses, your philosophy, how it governs your curricular development, how you grow, and what kind of funding do you have for that growth. So it's a book for everybody.
The chemical engineering profession, those of them who are graduates now, they will first of all go to their own university, see what is there. Then after that, they will now start looking at other universities to see how far they have moved and what kind of improvement they can make in their own university. So it's quite a book for everybody, at least in chemical engineering and outside of chemical engineering.
The book, 50 Years of Chemical Engineering Education in Nigeria, 1969 to 2019, was published in 2024 by University of Lagos Press and Bookshop Limited.
Watching